Hello, everybody who is watching this. I have figured out and found out that Roblox has a problem. There are a lot of games on the platform, but that's not the problem. The problem is that all of those games are simply just cash grabs for everybody who plays them. People will keep coming back for things like UGC items if the game has them. So they will get free cosmetics, and the game gets free players. On top of that, there are people who will just go and play the game for simply they'll simply go and play the game just to have fun, and other times that fun will allow them to spend their Robux on items. This inevitably means the game also makes money, but it is also a bad game because all it really allows you to do is do what the game wanted you to do. I'm not making this that clear already. My point is that Roblox is fundamentally flawed because there's over 1,000 games on the platform that are simply just the exact same thing but retextured. A lot of the times, this always means certain games like simulators are like this. Sometimes games won't even let you play unless you pay for them to play, and that's very bad as well because all it means is that you could publish a game, make somebody pay for it, and have a really cool title for the game, but not have anything out at all. So you make money, and they get nothing. Now, where I'm really coming from with this is that I played a game called Tropical Royale back when it first released. Got about 200 players on the weekends and maybe 100 or 50 on the weekdays. And the lobbies at the time for this Battle Royale game was 50. There's still 50, to my knowledge. But you can't even play the game anymore. You could log in, you could go into one of the lobbies and games, but what winds up happening is there's simply not enough players in the game itself to actually play a match. And that really stinks. Because it is a very good game with a lot of good graphics, things like that. Not the best graphics, not like doors and things like that, but for a Battle Royale game, it has similar, I would say, graphics to Island Royale. Well, Island Royale is dead from, I think the solo dev effect. Not really sure, I didn't do much research on that. Tropical Royale died within, 2 weeks, maybe a month of its launch. And I don't even understand why that is. And there's another Battle Royale game that I did play, but it is nowhere near like Tropical Royale. But it gets over 1,000 players daily, maybe 600 on a very bad day for the game. It is pretty much an empty base plate with things that spawn. It's not even that big of an arena. You have weapons already in your inventory, and that is not fun at all to play. For some people it is, and that's mainly just 8-year-olds who don't understand things, who haven't seen what is really occurring in Roblox. So, but I have figured out that you could find really good games by maybe typing skilled-based into the search bar, or beta, alpha. There's a lot of things that you easily could do that would make this better. And you could find games that you really enjoy playing that way. Right now, Roblox is a dumpster fire. A lot of fun games like natural disasters and things like that are not as popular as they used to be. Or, I mean, I'm not really sure about other games. Like, I know there's a lot of other games that are not doing as well as they did, and that is partly because of this. The other thing is that right now Roblox is advancing quite a lot in like graphics wise and gameplay wise. I mean, I can use Door as an example of this, or Alone, or I could use a lot of horror games. Horror games, some of them anyway, have a lot of effort put into them, and they're also really fun to play. We as a community, at least in my eyes, we are dying. And we're also trying to use Roblox as a business, which, while it seems like you could do that, you really can't. Unless you are Blox Fruit stores or any other extremely popular game, maybe Bloxburg. Those are the only real ways people are making money, is by having an extremely popular game. Those of us who actually go out of our way to make something that is really good, yet it dies, even if we have a massive team of people, that is from all of those garbage games that keep popping up. Every day I check, and there's always something new. I can use this. Stand still or you die, yada yada. There's that one. And then Punch Simulator, or those like racing simulator games where you just run along a track. All of those are surprisingly popular games, and they're also extremely easy to make. Like, stupid easy. So people have been spending lots of time on pretty much a game that took someone maybe a week to make, maybe less. And in return, the game developer is making money, being able to give us new content, but not at the level that other games do. The new content they're giving us is UGC items, which is just free skin cosmetics that in 30 days you could just flip around for a profit if you really wanted to. But a lot of us won't do that. If it's an item that's a UGC item, odds are we're keeping it, if we find it cool enough. Or the game gets you to buy something by spamming you with ads. There is one game that I did play. I think it's called Strongest Man Simulator. The game freaking spams you with ads for pets and things like that. They're very expensive too. All in all, things are not looking great for Roblox. And this doesn't really fall into the category of anything, but while I'm at it, I might as well just mention things for Fortnite. It's not looking too good either. While it has 2 million players, that's the most it's had since forever. Once this season ends in a month, pretty sure it's going to die down. But I don't know what's coming. So we'll just see what happens from here. This goes hand in hand with Roblox as well. Too many stuff. Too many things. I spend hours trying to find a game to play. I have friends who spend hours trying to find games that they want to play. One of my friends pretty much just plays Islands 24/7 because, well, they have a lot of money in that game and they just want to build and play it. I have another friend who searches and searches for fun games for me and him to play. And we play them for a little bit. Then things like that, but I'm the one that spends time going through trying to find fun games. And every game I find, I don't want to play with them. It's either it's bad for one of them, or, we go and play something else. It never really ends up working out. This happens with all of us, really. We all look for stuff to play, we all play it for a little bit, we all get bored, we all leave. This happens more often than you think. And other times, games get ruined by updates, like a game called Base Raiders. people would build these giant vault bases, which were essentially money farms. And you could just click on them, and they would give you stuff. But in a recent update, it made it so you actually had to push a button on your keyboard or your phone or an Xbox. You would have to continuously push that button in order to claim stuff out of them. And you could only do so from the front of the object. So you couldn't build those bases anymore. You couldn't build these ultimate, like, humongous vault farms that people used to be making. Or there used to be a thing called raid farming in that game, where you could set up a thing, put an account in there, and you could raid them forever. Because normally when you raid a base in Base Raiders, you teleport back to your own and you have to wait a minute. In this, you didn't really have to do that. You could just sit there. You would get teleported away after like maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. But there was also a way to counteract that using the conveyor belt in the game. And you could just send yourself back into it and it would work. And it was very annoying to some players. Lots of the times, though, which just ways people would make tons of money. Like, anyone on the leaderboard that has a huge level did that when it was allowed to happen. That got patched. But one thing that didn't get patched, and it's very stupid that it didn't get patched, because it actually ruins the game more than anything. Crate farming. You can use vending machines that you get out of crates, and if you're lucky enough, every 5 minutes you could get a crate, or a speed buff, or a life buff. Those are the only things you get out of vending machines. And it was a common crate. But what really made things worse was if you got a godly crate. There's an exploit you can do with any crate in the game, where if right before claiming an object you leave the game, and then rejoin the game, the crate would still be there. So if you didn't want something or wanted something different, you could just leave the game and rejoin, and your crate would be there. And you could reopen it until you got what you wanted. I used that method, and if you had one godly crate, or even two, if you had two godly crates, just a better method, then you could just get 3 godly crates out of 2. And you could use this method a lot. I mean, I think it might have been more. You could make an absurd amount of godly crates off of just one crate. It was very easy to do. It wasn't hard. It was stupid easy. Like, I use it, and I use it mainly to get stuff needed for crates, and then I also use it for leveling my character up, because that's the only way to do it now. There even used to be an exploit where you could fuse objects together and save space. I actually did that one time. And I will tell you, it's very broken if you can get it correctly working. One of my friends used it to just create a gigantic vault farm that saved a lot of space. So, things changed with that game a whole lot. And it's not very fun anymore. We used to get maybe 1,000 players, maybe more. Now it's barely getting 100, 200, 300. Like, that was a game that died from an update, which should be reverted, honestly. At least the GUI update. And then there are just lots of games that I know of. I can't name a lot of them. Those are the bare minimum I can actually label for you guys. But there were a lot of other games out there that we played. We came back to them years later, and they weren't the same, or they had died, or things like that. Or it may not have even been a year, it may have been a month or two, and they were just a lot different, or they just were no longer fun. They felt like cash grabbing. Like, there are certain games where you just run into players who are absolute sweats, but have only been playing for a week, and it's because they bought stuff in that game to beat you. was just too many things that happened that made things worse for the player base in a lot of games. So, yeah. This is probably going to be all. If you guys want, though, I have a video or a live stream on my channel for Tropical Royale. If you guys watch that, you should, if you enjoy it, you should go play the game. Because I don't want that game to die. That game should not be allowed to die as one of the best Fortnite clones for Roblox ever. Better than Island Royale, better than a lot of things. We'll see you guys in the next one.